Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Throwlash video. I am your host, Throwlash, and we are standing in the new Minecraft 20W06A, I believe it is, Snapshot, the 1.16 Nether update. I am standing right in the middle of one of my favorite brand new biomes. This place is unbelievably gorgeous. I can't get enough of it. I couldn't stop playing this snapshot. Oh, I'm so ready for this update already. But in this video, what we're going to go over is some of the major bug fixes that have come out in this new snapshot, as well as some of the amazing new features, new blocks, new mobs, etc., etc. So let's jump right into it. So before we get into the super fun stuff, like all of the new nether biomes, the new blocks, any of the new mechanics with the new blocks and biomes, etc., etc. I think I want to first take a look at and go through all of the different bug fixes that have come out with this new 1.16 update, just so we can get a little acquainted with some of the major things that are going to potentially be changing once this update is released. To start off our bug fixing here, there is an issue right now where if there is I believe water or a button or a torch or something in the same space as an item frame with an item in it, when you spin the item, the comparator actually turns off. It doesn't read any of the output of spinning that item in an item frame. However, once you get rid of it and you spin it again, it actually starts reading it again. Now, this has been fixed, supposedly, in the 1.16 snapshot. And here we are in 1.16. If you notice, when I spin this torch, the comparator stays on, so that bug has been fixed. So this next bug has to do with pistons, and if you place items on the bottom half, or the bottom part of a piston, that need a solid block to be placed down, something like, a torch or redstone dust, etc. I don't think you need a solid block for flower pots anymore, but it used to affect flower pots. When you retract the piston, because the flower pot doesn't need it anymore, it's fine, but as you see, the redstone dust breaks, and if you look over here, things like the shulker and the armor stand here will kind of bob up and down a little, so watch those real close. You notice how they kind of popped up and down. And this also works with redstone torches as well, and if we go ahead and break the redstone signal there, it pops the torch off. And as you can see here, that is no longer the case. We have items that would have popped off on the back of these pistons or been bumped up a little here. And if we go ahead and flick this and flick it back, everything stays, including the redstone dust, and even if I put a torch here, it will still stay once the piston retracts. So everything looks shipshape here. That's great. Now this next one has to do with redstone as well. As you can see here, we just have a line of glass, but there is redstone dust on top of it. Now, supposedly in 1.16, they have fixed the fact that redstone has no bottom texture. So if you were to place it on anything that was transparent, you wouldn't see the bottom of the redstone. And as you can see here in 1.16, this has now been fixed. We can see the redstone on the top and the bottom. There's going to be some people that are upset with this because they liked the fact that they could kind of hide redstone on top of glass. But such is life. There used to be an issue where if you were on the back of a horse, you threw an egg, oh, I got a chicken, or a bottle of enchanting, or a snowball, maybe some other things, your item would instantly break when you threw it, and that is no longer the case, as you can see here. We can throw snowballs at this chicken all day. Can I hit the chicken? Can I? Oh, there we go. So that is no longer the case. Another interesting bug that was in anything before 1.16 was if you threw an item on top of a turtle egg, it would start to break, potentially. You had to throw the item on top of the turtle egg. I'm in 1.16 now, so it's not going to work, but they have fixed that. Something they've also fixed with turtle eggs is minecarts would also break turtle eggs, even though you crouching on top of a turtle egg won't break it. So the idea was if you don't break a turtle egg and you're this big, and you're crouching on top of it, why would a minecart break a turtle egg? So, I don't know. It seemed fine. Oh no. Whoops. Sorry, turtles. And one final issue regarding turtle eggs is, experience orbs. Actually, if they went on top of the egg, there was a chance that the orbs themselves could break the egg too. So, That has also been fixed, and I think that's a good fix because experience orbs kind of aren't things. They're kind of just, I don't know. They don't seem like things to me, if that makes sense. So that's a good fix. There was a bug where even after you trade with a villager, and that villager was turned into a zombie villager. Oh, we've got 2 of them in there now. Oh, look at that. There is a chance that oh, now he's on fire. There we go. So now that he's a zombie villager, I don't believe he has anything in his hand. He's not having any armor, anything. There's a chance that if we fly far enough away and fly on back, that all 3 of them have despawned, even if you've traded with him. And apparently that has been fixed in 1.16. And we have these folks here converted, and if I just go ahead and fly away again and come on back, it looks like just our librarian is left, because I've traded with him in 1.16. Great news. And as I go ahead and kill him, please remember that this does not necessarily fix the issue with the fact that when you name tag a zombie villager, it may despawn, or name tag a villager and then convert it into a zombie villager, it may still despawn. That does not necessarily fix that issue. That bug is still ongoing. So another phenomenal change here is you can actually mine pistons faster now with a pickaxe, which makes sense because they're made of stone, and the efficiency of your pickaxe actually applies here. Now, if I go ahead and give myself haste 2 here, something awesome happens. You can instant mine pistons. That is a very, very welcome change from someone who sometimes has to take down gigantic piston machines. Another bug that they fixed here is when you went to, in your own inventory, fix or repair items using 2 of the same items, it got rid of a curse, and now in 1.16 it no longer does that. The curse will stay there. So sorry folks with cursed items. Another nifty bug fix that they added here is if you try to sleep at night when there's some mobs nearby, I got a little creeper in there, it won't reset your spawn point, but apparently that has been fixed now in the 1.16 snapshot. There was an interesting bug with shulkers where every time they went to teleport, what they wanted to do is they checked the valid face to attach to, and they always check the top of a block. So if you had a right side up stair here, since this isn't solid on the top, it would never attach to the bottom of normal stairs or the bottom of bottom slabs, these here, because the top of the bottom slab is empty air, so they would never attach to the bottom of it. However, they would always attach to any facing of an upside down stair, and they would also attach to any facing, I believe, of the top half of a slab. And yep, if I do that, that looks kind of funky now, doesn't it? Similarly, so does the bottom half of the stair, as well as the side. And this was when they were trying to teleport. So they would never teleport down here. See? They don't like that. And they would also never teleport up there. So, very interesting bug, but that has been fixed. And one last final bug that I want to go over, which I think is absolutely massive, is there was always an issue where if you had a mending tool and you've got all of your mending gear on, and your mending gear is all full, and you want to repair this mending tool all the way back up, what would happen is you'd get all this XP, and your mending tool, for whatever reason, wouldn't be prioritized when you're getting the XP. You can see it happening here. This mending tool should be bobbing up and down as I throw this up. Now what happens is all the rest of your gear gets prioritized as well when you start to gain XP. And since it's full, it actually goes into the XP on your character instead of going to whatever tool you need to repair. So that has been fixed. Now the unrepaired tools and unrepaired armor will take priority here, and they will get the XP before the repaired stuff does, and you get it to your XP bar, which I think is an absolutely phenomenal change. Alright, enough with that bug fixing stuff. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this update, which is all the new biomes, all the new features, the new blocks, etc, etc. And let's start with the boring stuff. This is now, the regular generated nether is now called the Nether Wastes. And if I pull up our F3 screen here, you can see it down in the left side. We are in the biome Nether Wastes. Normal stuff happens here. You get your pigmen that spawn, you get some gas that spawn in here, etc, etc. All that wonderful nethery goodness. We're going to save you for last because you're my favorite. This over here, let's go in here. This is the Soul Sand Valley. And as you can see, when we enter this new biome, I've gone in a horrible spot. Give me just a second. There we are. That's much better. As you can see, when we enter this biome, we get this absolutely beautiful blue fog. It's just so eerie, so creepy. You can see blue fire in here, and it's just such an atmospheric place. And in here is one of our first brand new blocks. This is Basalt. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Now, this has no properties besides just being a pretty building block, and it has a very new sound to it as well. If you listen closely, it sounds a little more earthy when you place it and break it. And right next to our basalt is another new block. It's called Soul Soil, and you can probably see in the top right we have a new recipe that's unlocked. That's right, it's a torch that's blue. We'll get into that later. But for right now, we have this new Soul Soil, and it sounds exactly like dirt when you place it and when you break it. The nice thing about it, though, is when you light it on fire, obviously using a flint and steel, the fire turns blue. And it's just so atmospheric and gorgeous. I wish it gave off blue light. However, we haven't gotten that far yet in Minecraft. One thing I do wish the blue fire did is if I set my game mode to survival here, and we go in the F3 screen, or the F5 screen, excuse me, I am burning red. And I think I should burn blue there. Now, that blue torch we had before, if you combine a stick as some coal to make torches and then put soul soil underneath it, you get soul fire torches, and these are gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. They give off this nice blue fire. Oh, let me turn particles on. They give off this absolutely beautiful blue fire here. And now that I have the particles on, there's one other thing that I wish to mention. You can kind of see around in the air this debris falling. It has a special name. I'm not 100% sure what it is. And it's supposed to be like falling ash, essentially, from the soul sand and the soul soil. It's absolutely wonderful. And you may have also noticed walking around in the background, we have skeletons. That's right, in the soul sand valley, skeletons and gas are more likely to spawn here. So you may have seen some pictures already with about 8 gas just floating around in the sky, which is kind of terrifying. Now, of course, you can take these torches as well and turn them into soulfire lanterns, which, again, just the coolest looking things ever. Just absolutely beautiful. You may have also seen that there are fossils all over the place in the Soul Sand Valley, and if you listen real close, they have a new sound when you place them, and when you break them, they sound a bit more like bones. And on that same note, we have the soul sand sounds a little terrifying when it's broken, and if I turn my block sounds up, it sounds like a little bit of a yell. And if we listen to this one again, it just sounds so cool. So before we leave the Soul Sand Valley and head over to the Crimson Forest, I do want to point out one thing, that the Soulfire torches and the Soulfire lanterns don't give off as much light as regular torches and regular lanterns. If I stand, let's go over to this guy over here. That's going to make more sense. Right under this guy, we can see our light level is 10. But if we go over to our trusty torch, our light level is 14. So they don't give off as much light. However, they are just unbelievably beautiful. I love them so much. Now, as we head over from the Soul Sand Valley into the Crimson Forest, you're going to see a couple of things happen, and they're going to be abrupt. All right? So, immediately it goes to a very red atmosphere with these twinkling like red fungus spores in the sky. It would be nice if there was more of a transition. I'm sure that will be coming later. Now, also you can see immediately there's trees in the nether. Hallelujah. One other thing is we have our little hoglins. We have our little hoglins over here. I have not found a way to breed them. I don't believe they have an AI whatsoever. If I were to go into survival, I'd get shot up by everything right now, so I'm not going to do that. However, they do have a fun hit them animation. Interestingly, its hitbox is not up here. It's down there. That is strange. I wonder if that's because it's in the soul sand. It turns out no, that is not because it's in the soul sand. Either my version of this is kind of wonky, or... Oh, they do burn up in lava. Do they? Do they? Oh, they do. Interesting. So either my version of this is a little wonky, or they just have the wrong hitbox. Good to know. However, as I was saying, we have these wonderful new trees here, and this is Crimson Roots, and we've got a new Crimson Fungi. We've got here Crimson Nylium. I believe it's pronounced Nylium. Let's go with that. Hanging off the trees, we have Weeping Vines. In the trees is another new light source, the Shroom Light. The trees themselves are a crimson stem. I believe they are supposed to be a type of fungus, but they definitely, if I place this down here, it looks like a tree. And then here is Nether Wart block, which is just phenomenal because this actually is a really nice block and it was difficult to get. Something very interesting about the Nylium is it has a nether rack as well as a dirt sound when you break it, which is really, really cool. And I believe the netherrack sound might have changed. Yes, it sounds a little more meaty now when you break it. Something else interesting about this Nylium is if you bone meal netherrack next to it. Oh, that's the texture for the bone meal. It will actually spread, which is interesting. And if you right-click on the Nylium itself, nothing really happens. And I believe it is bone mealing things, yes, that are adjacent to the Nylium itself, which is nice to know that this stuff can actually spread. The fungi itself can also be bone mealed into the big trees, the big fungus trees, which is very cool because it actually, the Shroom Light itself will grow here as well when you fungus one of those, when you bone meal one of those fungi, as well as the Weeping Vines. The Weeping Vines really don't have a use right now. You can't crawl up them. They won't hurt you in survival, which I think is silly. They definitely should hurt you in survival because they're all barbed and weird. However, let's get straight to the point of why everyone's here and why everyone is so excited about all of these new woods, because we actually also get new wood in the form of these crimson stems. If I put this in a crafting bench, we get our crimson planks, and just look at how beautiful those are. Oh, they're just absolutely gorgeous. I can't get enough of these, and those will break down into your normal plank-like structures. You can break them down into slabs. You can put them as stairs. You can get doors, trap doors, fences, fence gates. This stuff is just absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. This is almost exactly like acacia, just sideways, which is kind of nice. But look at this door. Look at this beautiful door. I am beyond myself with excitement here. This is so wonderful that we get a new wood type. And something else you can do with this here is you can strip it as well, which is totally awesome. And if you look close at this, it is kind of like pulsing, like it's got something living inside of it. I am just beyond myself with the capabilities with this. So let's go on to my favorite part, because it gets even better. Now, something else they've added which is absolutely phenomenal. If you get turned around like I have in my world, there is a new command. It's called Locate Biome. And you can type that in, and we can just type in Warped Forest. It'll tell us where it is, and then we can go ahead and click on that and teleport right to it. And I've got to get out of the hole here. And now that we're back on the surface, look at this. Look at this beautiful place. It's just So beautiful. I can't. So you'll see some of the normal changes that have happened in the Crimson Forest. We have warped roots again. We have warped fungi, warped warp blocks, warped stems. We've got warped nylium. This place is just unbelievably beautiful. The color is gorgeous. It's supposed to be a peaceful biome, and we also have kind of warped spores floating around in the air, if you can see it there, and an interesting purplish, bluish fog in the background, as well as you may be able to notice there's no pigmen, but there's a lot of endermen. And like I said, this is a peaceful biome, so says Mojang, and a lot of endermen will be spawning in this biome, which is absolutely phenomenal, especially for when you are in the earlier part of the game and you need to go ahead and find yourself a stronghold. It's going to be good to have these guys. There's also Nether Sprouts here, and I don't know if those do anything, to be honest, at the moment. I haven't tried bone mealing them. Let's give that a shot here real quick just to see if they will grow up into anything else here. No, it doesn't look like it. But this as well, you can spread the warped nylium around to the rest of the netherrack that you have near you. And let's break this warp stem down. Excuse me, Mr. Tallboy. It's got such a great sound too. But yes, it's got the same pulsing sensation that you get in the other variants here. You can, of course, strip it like the crimson stem. And this here is my absolute favorite new block. I can't get enough of it. They're so beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. And I failed to show off in the Crimson version. We get pressure plates and buttons and signposts as well. And we, just as everything else we did with Crimson. But look at this door. Look at this door. It's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I can't. Oh, what an update this is. What a phenomenal update. And before we get into our last big hype update, Mr. Tallboy here, get out of here. We're going to show you another little feature here that 1.16 has added. There are no longer gaps in walls when you place them vertically on top of each other. That's a wall. It's an actual wall that you can use to defend yourself with. It's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Wall building is going to be... Oh, that actually kind of looks cool. Wall building is going to be so much nicer now. Absolutely. But you know I couldn't leave out the biggest thing that everybody's talking about. That's right. Diamond armor, thing of the past. Throw your diamonds into lava. Just straight into lava right now. Find the nearest lava lake and toss your gear right in. Because actually, we do need that. That was a bad idea. Because we need the diamond stuff to make it better. There is a new type of ore. There is a new thing that makes all of your diamond gear so much better. It's called netherite. And look at this. It's just unbelievably gorgeous. And especially this block here. Let's just plop this down real quick. Oh, it's beautiful. It's perfect. I love it. And the biggest thing that I love about this is how difficult, yes, I love it, is how difficult it is to get this stuff. See, we need this thing. It's called ancient debris. So if I just look that up real quick, we've got this new block, this whole new texture. It's called ancient debris. And look at this. It's almost like a tree, but made of metal. It's very cool. And the only place to get that is very, very, very deep far down into the nether floor. Right now, we are on Y59, and I think the highest you might be able to find it that I've seen so far is Y13. So I have dug down to Y15, all the way down to Y5, and a 100-block long channel, and this must be, 30 blocks wide? And just to show you how scarce this stuff is, I did see it at Y15 here. There's one at Y16 up there, so you don't have to dig all the way down to 11, but this stuff is scarce. So there was, 32,000 blocks or 320, I don't even know, lots of blocks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So this is a very, very scarce item, and I'm okay with that. And let me tell you why. Actually, before I tell you why, what can you do with it? You can smelt ancient debris in a blast furnace. You can also smelt it in a furnace, but it actually gives the blast furnace a use because it doubles the time that it takes to smelt this stuff. But really, does it give it a use? Because how rare this stuff is. Are you going to have 8 pieces to smelt down where you might as well just use a furnace? But if you take, I believe it's 4 of these pieces of netherite scrap that you get from smelting it down, and you put it in a crafting table like this, and then gold like this, you get 1 netherite ingot. And this is your ticket to the best gear the game now has to offer. If you combine your netherite ingot with a chest plate or any other diamond tool, you get yourself a netherite tool or chest plate or a piece of armor, etc. And I'll show you here with the diamond pick, you get a nice, beautiful netherite pick. Oh my goodness. And what can you do with these? Well, first of all, netherite gear, gives you more armor toughness, which means the armor is going to last longer, and it also gives you knockback resistance, as you can see down there. A couple of things about the netherite pickaxe and the other netherite tools as well is you can see the durability on the diamond pick is at max 1561, and the netherite pick brings it up to a whopping 2031, which is absolutely insane. It makes this thing so much more powerful. It makes it last longer. It has a higher attack damage, which works with the sword and the axe as well. And something else, if you happen to be mining in the nether and you toss your diamond pick into lava, that's bad business. But if you toss your netherite pick, it actually floats up to the top, and that includes any netherite stuff, your netherite chest plates, your netherite swords, etc., etc. Absolutely awesome. So then you can just wade back into the lava here and pick up your pick and pick up your chest plate. And yes, folks, that also includes the ancient debris and the netherite scrap. So if you are down underneath the ground mining this stuff up and the lava kills you, don't worry, you got 5 minutes to pick it up. It's not all gone forever immediately. How great is that? Netherite tools and armor also have a higher enchanting rate, not as high as gold, but essentially what that means is things like efficiency 4, etc. You don't need a full enchanting setup in order to get it for netherite. You can get it at a requirement of level 18, not 30. So that's phenomenal news as well. Also, it looks super, super friggin' cool. Who needs diamond hose anymore when we got netherite hose? You know what I'm saying, folks? You know what I'm saying, folks. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, all of your new 1.16 news brought to you by Throwlash. I really hope you enjoyed this snapshot video. It was awesome to make. I am so hyped for 1.16 already. Just standing in this biome makes me so happy. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go take a quick bath in some lava because I got netherite gear on. Who cares? Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next Throwlash video. Goodbye!